Hello, everyone, and good evening. Good day, as a matter of fact. I hope everyone's well. This is Norm Therapy, Michael Gibson. I'm the creator of Norm Therapy, and it's a socialization of abuse. Today, we will be talking with a wonderful lady, and I'll introduce her in just a little while. But I wanted to tell you that at our organization, we're concentrating on doing it right the first time. We're very cognizant and aware that Norm Therapy can somehow one day be a household name. And with that comes a great deal of responsibility. So since day one and inception of Norm Therapy, at least bringing the company out to the light of the public some 6 years ago, this has been a work for about 30 years of my life. Not many people knew I was working on it as I traveled and did what I did. It was mostly in my mind and in my notes. But I started seeing abuse as something pervasive, something that's everywhere. And then I started looking at the different kinds of abuses that are out in the world and how they compare to the rest of the world. So recently, last year, we actually started a think tank. And in this think tank, we have about 14 PhDs and master's level programs and a lot of different people from all walks of life that we're working on solutions for mapping abuse worldwide. I'll talk about more about that in the future. But right now, today's podcast, Socialization of Abuse, is how easy we've made abuse accommodating within our society, or I should say our eclectic group of global societies. We've made it so easy to be hurt and to receive the pain and stay with that pain in such a conditioned manner that it almost seems to be your normal, if not your normal, for a lot of you out there. This has to come to an end. This is very destructive on the psyche, the countenance, as well as your lives. But you don't see it because you've been so accustomed and conditioned to it, you don't really know that it's you, that it's happening to. We're going to talk more about that in our subsequent interviews. I wanted to start out my first 10 or 15 interviews with different people from the organization and around the world that we talked about them for a while. And our next series of interviews over the next few months, we'll be talking more about getting into the exactness of how things operate within the abuse care community and how it differs from the mental health community. We're not mental health specialists. Although we do provide training in some areas of mental health, that's not what we do. We provide enough training for our norm therapists so, of course, they can have enough cursory knowledge to identify people who do not belong to the abuse care community and somehow elevate them and or move them laterally over into the mental health care space where they may be suffering from manic or schizophrenia or some other bipolarism. Then we would refer them. We never try to treat any mental illness. Just wanted to let you know. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating conversation. So, and I think you'll enjoy it in the future. But here's the thing. Right now, I'm going to invite our guest in. Her name is Mahrou Pour. Mahrou Pour. And she's the design manager at Abuse Refuge Org, Arrow, as affectionately known, at Go at, that's terrible. Go Arrow.org. I just totally skipped over it. But she's been our design manager for, oh my God, the last few years. She's so amazing. And all the good stuff that you see coming out, she and Kelly Dean, the global executive director, her staff over there in the graphic design department. She's also the manager of the department. And she's the longest running volunteer we have at the organization. She has the distinction of being our most celebrated as well as long-term volunteer we've had. Several years now she's been on with us, and we appreciate every day that she's with us. Okay, and without further ado, I would like to invite in Mahrou Pour. Mahrou? Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you. Old timer. I'm gonna call you old timer. Is
Thank
that
you.
okay? Just messing.
Yeah. Glad to see you too also. Bye.
Good. Tell our audience a little bit about you. Just a little bit. Tell us what's important to you. What's about you we need to know so we can continue our conversation.
Actually, as you said, I'm Mahrou. I was born in 1983 in Tehran, Iran.
Yay.
And yes, it's really hard to me to actually say these uh, biography. But I just wanted to say that I'm really happy that it's more than 3.5 years that I worked with Arrow. And Arrow was some important part of my life now. And actually, beside of being graphic design manager at Arrow, I learned to be how to be a leader. And as I actually told you before, and now I'm an English teacher in a school.
Yeah. I like that.
Yes, yeah, and that's all. Yeah, please ask me whatever you want.
Oh, I definitely. Oh, we got the questions coming. So tell me something. Now that you're more would you say, okay, let's back up. You said that you became more confident since what? Norm therapy? Since you went through norm therapy training?
Actually, I cannot say any exact time for that because it was a process, I can say. I cannot say, okay, from this day, I got more confidence or I got, it was a process. But from being actually, since I got supervisor at Arrow, I got that confidence that, oh, I can do something, I can be more useful. I started believing in myself.
Wonderful. That is truly wonderful. So now that you're the went from supervisor to manager, I remember that time frame. That was a very because we had to another person had to leave because we were having some issues, and you stepped right in and you actually started doing a fantastic job, if I remember correctly. Oh my God, yes. And you
Thank
did
you.
that automatically. Tell us how good are you of a graphic designer? How good are you?
Do you mean about my designs in
Yeah, your
actually
design
Arrow or generally you mean?
in general, because I mean you're an amazing graphic designer. I want you to talk to people about some of the projects that you've done and some of the things that you've designed.
Oh,
What are
okay.
some what are some
Actually, this is nice of you. Thank you. Actually, around 20 years ago, I graduated from university and I got my BA in graphic design. But
Mhm.
graphic design is a major that you get updated and you should get updated. And if you just focus on one thing, you cannot actually grow so more. So on those days, around I can say 15 years ago or 16 years ago, I started my job in uh, printing companies, some advertising companies, and actually it changed and changed and changed. After that, when the social media got viral and everybody used this smartphones, so I started
Mhm.
to learn some other softwares, which is, for example, important to actually motion designs or something that is good for social media platforms.
Mhm.
And now I actually shifted from printing aspect of graphic design to digital. But it wasn't enough. Actually, this word is just growing so fast. So
Mhm.
if actually
Ever is
someone
always evolving.
exactly, exactly. If actually um, uh, you want to be successful in this major, I should say that every day you should learn. Not every day, but every month, every season, you should learn something new.
Oh my God.
Uh, yeah, because nowadays AI is actually doing something that we can do, but it actually made us that. You should be
Work hard.
better than this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Work
Yeah,
hard to become more efficient. I
exactly.
use AI every now and then. I like the way I write better than AI writes. Although it's clear and it's concise, somehow or another it's too dry. Or when it's trying to be emotional, it's too emotional. Or,
Mhm.
so they have a lot of kinks to work out with AI, but it's an excellent way to judge your work. I don't mind giving it something and saying, okay, tweak this and tell me what you think about it. Most of the time, I like what I've written before, and I like the style and the way I write, other than AI. Although there are some AI programs out there that are designed to do what we do. So you, as a graphic designer for Arrow, you're responsible for all our logos, all of everything to do with our signage, our what you call, there's a sheet, whatever, you get what it's called. But what is that sheet called that you guys created that had
Uh, do you mean the guide size, all of
yeah,
them, you mean?
style guide, the
Yes.
style guide.
Yeah.
When I looked at that, I'm gonna be very honest, it is so professional. When I looked at it, and being the CEO, I started to, read it, and I kind of thought to myself, well, I'm in the big leagues now because this is truly amazing. It really made me think of world class. It made me think, one day this could be a Fortune 100 company because we are building things. I like to tell people we built an 8-lane highway, but we're only using 2 right now. And we'll continue to grow, and we won't have those growing pains that a lot of people have because they didn't build their organization from a scalable model. It has to be scalable. It has to be able to grow. And that's what we've been doing with the organization. So having your professional kind of talent, which is extremely professional, on staff with us, volunteering for this long, says a great deal. And we, of course, appreciate you and love you to death. We think you are truly amazing. So that's a good thing. Tell me, when you graduated from norm therapy course to become a norm therapist, what were some of the most important things, if you can share with us, that you learned while in norm therapy?
Actually, in first step, and this is the most significant part that I learned, was that it's okay if I have mistake. And before that, I really was embarrassed from my mistake. I just avoid to have mistakes, and I
Most
didn't.
people die at mistakes. They just kill themselves over mistakes instead of just letting them happen. But yeah,
Exactly.
go ahead, please.
Yes, and I avoided, and I think that I should be perfect, no mistakes, and I pretend to that I don't have any mistakes, and I didn't aware of that. This is the most important. That this is the part that always I have problem in it. I don't like to have any mistake, so I actually.
Perfectionist.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
am still, but I'm working on it. Yes, exactly. And this is the most important part that really changed my attitude, changed my opinions, changed my actually way of thinking that, it's okay completely. That if you have mistake, everybody in the world has mistake. So you are not actually a
Exclusive.
special person, yeah.
Right?
You
You're not the
also
only person.
exactly. This is the first step that was really important to me. And actually there are so many aspects if I want to say, but some of them actually was I wasn't aware of that it's actually affect on me during a process. But some of them like this that I said, I completely know. And one other that I can mention is that I learned to be not responding, not reacting, just responding. Yeah, I mean that. Uh, think
Critical
about
thinking.
it.
Critical thinking.
Yes, and it's really affect of my not personal life, actually professional life. Actually, I use it now in my career teaching when I actually deal with parents, when I have some naughty students, some playful, and I have some parents that's problematic. It's
Mhm.
really helped me now.
Well,
Yeah.
the stop and think and respond and not react that we teach at norm therapy always makes you look smarter. It makes you feel more confident about what you're about to say because you actually notice that you give it some thought before you respond. That is very attractive to business owners, is very attractive to business leaders, government leaders. People want people in front of them who use critical thinking when they speak or act. And I think you do it very well. I love listening to you talk to us about when we come to meetings, you talk about what you do and what's going on because you're a very poised person, and that's wonderful. Tell me, do you have a dog or a cat?
I have a dog.
Big dog, little dog?
Little, it's Shih Tzu.
Oh, I don't really like little dogs. I really don't like, but there is one breed of little dog I like. What kind of dog do you have?
This is Shih Tzu, small.
Shih Tzu. Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, is
yeah.
that the same thing with Shih Tzu? Shih Tzu? Same thing?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
all right, I have one.
I do apologize if I pronounce it wrongly.
I always pronounce it wrong on purpose. But no.
Actually, I want to say, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
I,
interrupt. We're talking here. Go ahead, interrupt.
yes, actually having this dog has a special story for me because before that, I have a great phobia of animals.
Really?
And yes, and especially about the cats. And my husband was in love with animals. He told me that if you
Good for him.
like, yeah, if you like, we can actually bring a puppy, small puppy, you get used to it, and
Mhm.
this fear will disappear. We brought it about 6.5 years ago, yes. And the speed of growing up for the dog was faster than the speed of I actually disappear this, I overcoming this fear. So we had so many challenges. And once a day, one time my therapist told me that please take this dog out of your home. It's really affect of your mental health because
Yes,
you
it is.
have fear, yes. But as I like to do some weird things, I accepted it. And can't you believe that you live with something that you have a big fear about it? But
Mhm.
among actually 3 months, gradually I get used to it. I fell in love with that dog. So
Kill that
yes,
phobia. Kill that phobia.
yes, yes. And once I decided to give it to my one of my neighbors. And after 2 weeks, I go and get it back. And I said, I cannot give it to you.
No,
Yes,
really, that is so sweet.
yes,
That
that
is
is
so sweet.
biggest story for me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. What's your dog's name?
Cookie.
Cookie. Oh, that's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Cookie. Okay, so you're an animal lover now, but you still have a problem with what? Cats?
Cats. Yes, exactly.
We'll talk about that if we can in a little while. But so dogs, we know you have the Shih Tzu. We know you have that. And what color is it? Brown or
Light brown,
light brown? Yeah,
beige like this.
that's the norm. You know, the only small dogs I like in the entire world are those Dachshunds.
Mm.
Now, some fox-like animals that look like foxes, I like that kind of breed. They're small, but they're cunning animals. But the Dachshund, the wire-haired Dachshund, have you ever seen that? Or the long-haired Dachshund, but mostly the wire-haired. Oh my God. These are the most vicious little dogs I've ever seen anywhere on the planet. And they actually breed the dog to hunt wild boar. They breed this little bitty thing, look like a hot dog. They breed it to so it can run under trees and go over brush real quick, like a running dog, a snake. They just go through the woods and they chase down huge animal in packs and they bring it down and slaughter it. It's really never seen anything like
Interesting.
it. Anyway, love those dogs. Okay, so tell me, as a teacher, when you're teaching students English, because you have a much greater command of English now than you had when you first started with us. So I see that. So when you're teaching English, what are some of the most basic skills that you try to teach them?
Actually, now I'm English teacher for first graders in this
Okay.
college, and I teach all of their lessons, which is life science, mathematics, all of them in English. Uh, yes, I didn't actually I didn't understand your question. Would you please ask again?
No, what's okay, I'll just rephrase it. What's a the most important thing that you teach people nowadays in their lives now? What's your most important subject?
For my students at the school, the most important things that I teach them is to how to understand English
Mhm.
and how to write or read in English,
Wow.
alphabets like this.
Reading and writing in English is an art form. I heard a guy the other day say that English is a second language for him, and it was hard reading. He said, but once he got into speaking English, he never knew what was going to come down the pike because we have so many what they call colloquialisms and idiomatic expressions where people
Exactly.
say, "Yeah, stop pulling my leg." And people, what is pulling my leg? Stop kidding with me. People don't know that that's an idiomatic expression.
Yes,
So English has plenty of idioms. But I'll tell you something. What I've noticed in the world, a lot of travel, is that when people, and tell me if you find the same thing, when people use a lot of idiomatic expressions when they're talking to you, it oftentimes tells me that they don't know much more beyond those idiomatic expressions. Normally, they just throw out an idiomatic expression like, yeah, don't pull my leg, buddy. And yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They say all these things to avoid having to speak the language, I think. And it's the
exactly.
funniest thing in the world. Do
I
you
think it,
experience that?
yeah, I think actually these expressions, there's actually in my mother tongue, which is Farsi, or other languages, which I'm actually learning Turkish now.
Mhm.
So these
That's right.
are,
You're living in Turkey now. That's right. Okay.
yes,
I
yeah,
lived there too for a while. I know Turkey well, but go ahead.
oh, great.
Istanbul.
Yes, I live in Istanbul. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean that these expressions is so important, and there is in all the languages. But for example, in English, it is the meaning are so different from the actually the exact words. So it makes
There's
it
no such
hard.
thing. There's no such thing. No translation. Sometimes you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they just
Yeah.
have to like muddle through and then figure it out. But yeah,
Yes.
sometimes there are no direct translations for certain phrases and verbs and words or even word patterns. There's just no translation. So you have to like guess. It's like saying, if the cow, was gonna drink milk, if it was a brown cow, come out brown milk. There's no real way to translate that in
Yes.
another language. But anyway,
Yes.
I can go on and on about that. So tell me, what are your plans for the future? What do you think you're going to be doing? We're going to be funded soon at Norm Therapy. So what do you think you'll be doing?
Actually, should I talk about my personal life or professional
Both.
life? Both.
Anything you like. We're here. This is an open discussion, just having a little fun talking with you. Now, in the future, we're going to be having more conversations about abuse and about a few other things. But I want people to get to know you. So when I have you back on the show, they've met you, they understand you, they've watched this tape probably a few times by then.
Yes.
And then, we'll talk more on the technical side and the business side of things, if that's okay, later on in the
Yes.
future.
Yes.
So tell
I
me,
actually I have both sides in my life. I should do something for my life to actually as I say that making money or doing something for my life to stay in Turkey, stay in
mhm,
Istanbul. So I decide to continue this teaching career path. But beside that, I really interested in following up and continuing being learn therapist also.
Absolutely.
Or yes, graphic design manager is my favorite. Yes, but I don't know if in future graphic design and social media maybe actually mix to each other, this department, and I should actually find a way to be in the graphic design major in Arrow also. So
You know, there's a large population of Farsi speaking people in the United States.
yes,
And as a norm therapist, and you graduated, did very well. And of course, I remember that community needs representation for norm therapy. So that may be something that we'll challenge you with in the future. You think it'd be up to something like that?
yes, actually, I really like to do that. Also, I'm getting more proficient in the third language, which is Turkish. If
Okay.
I can help
Teşekkür ederim.
Arrow, yes,
Teşekkür.
learn Turkey. Teşekkür ederim.
There you go.
Yes, I mean, thank you.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, it would be great if I can help Arrow and learn Turkey in Turkey too, actually. Why not?
let me tell you, there are two places in the world that I would be very interested. I don't know about the sanctions and all that with Iran, but I do know with Turkey there aren't any right now. And we'll be doing country management, where we're looking for people who are norm therapists who actually live there, who can actually manage the business in a Turkish language there.
Mhm.
So we'll be talking more about that in the future, of course. Yeah,
Yes,
we
sure.
will. Absolutely. That'll be a lot of fun and a lot of money. So
Yeah.
there you go. We'll put it that way. Okay. So, during your day and your time there, but let's just say your time there in Turkey, what has been your biggest challenge in Turkey? What has been the hardest thing for you to do?
Actually, I entered to Turkey in January 2020. I faced so many challenges until now, so far actually. Um, First step was Turkish language. I was in level 0. Just my husband was proficient in Turkish. Language was hard for me. After that, actually this is universal. The COVID started. It was a big
I
challenge also, yes, for me, and it changed our actually it changed all of the plans that we decided about it.
oh,
And yeah,
set everybody
and
in the world back. I think everybody in the world was set back just a little bit.
yes,
COVID really did the job.
yes.
So what happened? What happened? You had to make some changes, and then how did that survive? Everything went well?
Actually, if I want to say about those days, it was really, really tough days because we stuck here in Istanbul and we didn't know what should we do, what will happen for us. We stuck. We couldn't back to Iran. We couldn't go any other countries because we decided to stay here for about 6 months or maximum 1 year, and we wanted to go to Canada to join my family.
Mhm.
And it was really hard for us. And after a while, actually, when actually it was 22 and a half years, actually after that, we think that maybe it's better to stay here in Istanbul because there are so many reasons for us. But the most important part was the financial part for us because we spent all of our money here. We couldn't find any job on those days, 2 years. So we decided to stay. And, I have a sentence that I say that when there is no way, we should make a way. And I
Yes.
just, yes, and I thought that, okay, it was my desire to go to Canada or even United States, I don't know. But now I cannot reach that goal. So what I have in my hands, what can I do in front of myself? What is in my hand that I can do something for my life? So I know this one I know, for example, graphic design, I know these softwares, I know English language, I know blah, blah. Okay, I can use this English language to survive here. So
Very marketable there.
yeah, actually, and when I started, I passed a course here, and after that, I started to actually applying for some schools, and uh, but fortunately, one of them accepted me, and I started my job. So when I started my job, I said, okay, now I can sit down and I have a normal life. After that, again, I can think and reschedule and
Mhm.
follow
Things
my
become a little bit
dream.
normal. Things become a little bit normal for you.
Exactly.
You can
Eh,
breathe. I remember we had some discussions during that time, and I really wish we could have helped you more at the organization, but we were still giving away all of our services free. So we weren't generating income until just now we started our for-profit endeavors where we're charging for sessions and training and all of that. So we're going to see how that goes this summer. So keep your fingers crossed for that because that's going to be the beginning of a lot. Plus, we're in the
Yeah.
process of developing our own funding, and our funding is going to help us a great deal with advancing our salaries as well as our marketplace, as well as revenue streams and a whole lot of other things. So look out. Norm Therapy will definitely be the place where you want to be. Okay, so your family, you said in Canada, and
Actually, not all of my family.
okay,
My sister and her family, and because my sister's husband passed away unfortunately 3 years ago,
I'm
my
sorry.
mom also joined her, and now most of my family now is in Canada. Yeah.
Okay, so her husband died. Was it a sudden death or?
Yes, yes, it was
Oh,
brain attack. He was so young, around
aneurysm?
45
It
years
was
old.
an aneurysm?
Uh, I don't know actually. Yes, brain attack.
Right.
Suddenly in 2 days. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he
And
was only 45.
yes, and it happened suddenly and without any diseases, sorry.
Mhm.
And then this actually happened. My sister and her son was alone because of COVID. All the borders were closed, and nobody can join them. And it was really hard for all of our family.
Wow.
I was here. I couldn't join my family in Iran or Canada. My mom and my brother was in Iran. It was really
Very
hard
sad.
days.
Yeah, everybody was separated, and that must have been really daunting and not a good time. Yeah, I was stuck in Dubai for the whole COVID. Yeah, couldn't go anywhere. And and I was alone, so I know how you feel. I know
Oh,
exactly how you feel. But um I I think I contracted COVID before they even announced it. I think they announced it in the West like in January of that year. In November, the year prior, October, November, I got so sick. I literally thought I was gonna die. And I remember going to the hospital saying, "What's wrong with me?" They didn't know what was wrong. They took some blood. They said, "We don't know what this is." And nobody knew what it was. I was just sick, sick, sick. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And um, and then they announced it in like January, in the middle or the end of January, they announced it. And the next thing you know, I figured out that I already had COVID. That's why I've had all my shots and boosters shots and all that, but I've not had the sickness again at all. So I think that once you have it and you overcome it, your body just builds resistance to it. I think there's going to be something else coming down, to be a new disease coming down soon, but hopefully they learned a lot from, other than making money. I hope they learned a lot because pharmaceutical companies made out like bandits. They made a lot of money during that time frame. Okay, so talk about all those kind of things, tell me, what are some of your hobbies?
Actually, my hobbies change over the time, but recently, uh, actually spending time with my family and dog, swimming, walking, actually, in nature, especially, and painting, and what else I can say? Watching movies. They are my hobbies, yes.
Oh, that sounds like fun, relaxing stuff to do.
Yes.
Uh, so, change in your life is a big thing. Embracing change. Tell us, what do you mean when you say you embrace change?
If I want to say about embracing change in my life, I would mention about my immigration. Um, Immigration is really hard, actually.
Oh, in every country. Yes.
Yes, it's like rebirth. Um, and I was 36 when I immigrated, and
You know you don't look a day over 22, right? You know that. Okay, so you're doing well. Okay,
okay.
so at 36, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I
Now
almost,
I'm not 36, I'm 41,
oh wow,
actually.
because I used to want to say every time I see you, I used to want to say young lady, but then I said, wait a minute, you can't call a woman that, but I almost called you young lady on this call. So you're saying that you had to embrace a lot of change with your immigration, and it was very difficult, just like it is in
Yes.
every country. Um, was there a long time to wait?
Actually, I immigrated when I was 36,
Okay.
and it's about near to 5 years that I'm in Turkey. And I think
Good.
that I'm a person, this is one of my characteristics, that uh, I like to embracing changes. And yeah, I close my eyes and just dive into the change. But maybe it seems that I dive into without any thinking, but I think so much before that. Then I dive into. So I think life, actually, if we want to flourish or grow in our life, we should
Mhm.
take these risks and change in
Without
some.
change, right? Without change, nothing is possible. Most people think that they're just fine the way they are, but that's not true. They get better when they make changes and they constantly adjust themselves to their circumstance. In, in which I want to touch on now, situational awareness. So you are self-aware and situationally aware. Am I correct?
Yes.
Are you more so self-aware than you were before norm therapy? Are you more now self-aware?
Yes, yes.
Tell me about that
I
experience.
actually I mentioned before that how much now I realized that I was perfectionist, how much I didn't know myself great. And it's like I think self-awareness is like a onion. There is so many layers and there isn't any
Right.
destination. We just go and go deep into that to know ourselves better. So yes, after norm therapy and during the process, I think not exactly after finishing the norm therapy, I can say, oh, I changed. It takes time to everything that I learned settle down in my mind. And I realized, oh, I have this, for example, I was so um reactive I wanted to react about everything, every problem.
Mhm.
Or I wasn't aware of um situation, this situation awareness that you mentioned before. Yes, actually, it was really thankful for me.
Well, sometimes um, change is not bad. A lot of people fear change more than anything else. Change in relationship, change in where you live, change in jobs. All of those things are very stressful things. I'm doing a throat lozenge because my voice is dry. I do apologize. But you have to embrace the change in a way, sorry, to where it can benefit you. And you seem to have done that extremely well over, especially at Norm Therapy and at Arrow. I think you've done a great job. Everybody loves you. We think that we all think amazing things of you. Where do you see you living in 5 years?
Do you mean the location or
Yeah.
actually on the location? Um, I think maybe in Canada or um, United States. I don't know.
Where, yeah, of course. Norm Therapy is there. Anyway, where in Canada are your family located? In Toronto?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay, I lived there too, in British Columbia. I lived there too for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know British Columbia very well. Whistler and all that out there. In the wintertime, it's great for skiers, but I don't like skiing. So there you go. I'm not a cold weather person. Although I think I can ski a
Oh.
little, but I've trained for it, but I'm not interested in that. I don't like anything cold. Uh, so what makes you laugh? And when you are looking to have fun, what makes you laugh?
Um, Funny jokes, something that actually, let me tell you, make me laugh. When I watch actually comedy movies and when I heard some jokes, I easily laugh. Yeah. Yes.
Well, you have a very hearty laugh. This is good. You know,
Mm.
and I think that humor is very important in anyone's life. What are some of the funny things that people do, your students do?
Actually, when they pronounce the words wrongly, it really makes me laugh because they are in first grade. And also, besides learning English alphabet, they learn Turkish alphabet. They are similar to each other, but different. For example, in English, we have A, B, C. They have A, B, J. They pronounce the C as a J.
Right.
And for example, you know that in English alphabets we have the letter G, but the sound is G. For example, we have orange. They say, teacher, orange. I love it so much. Yes. Or for example, I write 9. The letter N, I-N-E, it is 9. They said, teacher, it's Nina. And I said, no, 9. What is it? This really made me laugh.
I experienced that talking to people for looking for food down on the Bosphorus, down there at the water. I used to always go down there and eat a lot in that area because they had the freshest food everywhere. Any
Yes,
restaurant you went to, and the food was
yes,
amazing, amazing. Turkish food, by the way, everybody, is some of the most amazing food I think on the planet. It's always fresh, and you can eat at 3 o'clock in the morning anywhere, and it'll be great, no matter what it
exactly.
is. It'll be
Yeah.
great food. You can be in a worse restaurant. I remember when I was there, this guy says to me, I wanted to do a little business with him. He says to me, let's get something to eat first. And he started apologizing. So why are you apologizing? He said, well, it looks really bad that we're about to go to. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to eat this food because I'll get sick and think it to myself. So we get there and it's this hole in the wall. It's terrible looking place, horrible place. At the bottom in a building in the back. Went in and sat down, and this guy brought out like 4 or 5 Turkish dishes. It was the best food I've ever tasted, probably anywhere in the world. This man cooked several little plates for us. And I didn't even care about the business. I was like, bring some more food. Keep bringing it. The food was delicious. That's
Yeah,
one thing I can say about Turkey. It has some of the freshest, fresh food,
exactly.
fish, meat, vegetables, and their exotic foods from all over the world. They cook right there, and it's
Yeah,
truly amazing. The one thing you'll have when you're in Turkey is a gastronomical vacation. You'll enjoy yourself eating.
yeah,
It's truly amazing. So
yes,
living there all the time now, see, I guess you stay in shape because the food is so healthy too in a lot of places, except for the breaded stuff. But I think that That's a good thing. So what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is lunch or sometimes dinner, but I really liked, as you mentioned about Turkish foods, there are actually when I arrived Turkey, I didn't like some of the foods and it was actually different from my taste. But
Mhm.
now I actually get used to that. I really like it. For
I did the
example, the
same thing. I did the same exact thing. I was like, I ain't
yeah, exactly.
that.
And there are some actually foods like I don't know if you have tasted or not, chikufte, for example.
I'm pretty sure I have. I tried everything on every menu
Yes,
over that year. Yeah, I
with
did.
lettuce, they actually part of lettuce they eat it. It's really delicious. When in the school they serve it, I eat all of them.
All the time.
Yeah,
Tell
and yeah,
tell people about the baklava. Can you tell?
but oh, that's
Oh my God.
amazing. Yes.
I don't even like sweets, but this food, oh my God. You get the truest baklava in the entire world right there. It is
Yes.
truly amazing. I think
And
I
there is a kunefe, if you have tasted or not, I don't know. It is the actually most delicious baklava in Turkey, I think, because
probably
there
I've
is
had.
some cream or cheese, I can say, among the layers,
Mhm.
and there's piece of ice cream on it, ice cream or cream, but
Wow.
it is amazing.
Well, I bet some of the people in our company right now who are watching this in the back office, they're going, oh, that sounds so delicious. I can hear them now saying
Yeah.
it. Kelly's that way. Kelly's crazy, our global executive director. She's crazy about food, loves everything about good food, just loves it.
Wow.
She understands it. She reads up on it. She cooks very well. But yeah, she can sit and talk with you for hours about food, just
Wow.
nothing but food. Oh, it's crazy.
I remember the videos that she made. Actually, first 3 years that we actually were in Arrow, and we
Mhm.
edited the videos to share on YouTube. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember that. I
Yes.
forgot all about it until right now. Something interesting about her and you. It seemed like you you both have kind of the same journey in learning. Because even when she's uncomfortable and you're uncomfortable, you still move forward and you still learn. Most people can't do that. Believe that or not?
Yes.
Most people can't
Quit.
learn beyond what they already know. And that's a
Yes.
shame because you stop living when you stop learning. And people don't get that all the time. They stay complacent in their little areas. They stay comfortable there. But I like the way you made changes in your life. I like the way the decision that you made. I think is really robust, really healthy to change every now and then. And that's what I tell abuse patients all the time. Change is good. You have to, as you say, embrace it. You have to embrace change in order for it to be effective. You have to embrace it because you'll never feel change unless you embrace it. Unless you feel, negative about your change, then you got a problem. Okay,
I
well,
can I say something?
yeah,
Sorry.
no, we're in an interview. Knock yourself out. This is your interview, but go ahead.
About change, I just actually read somewhere that says that in the world, in the planet, that nothing is fixed. There is day, there is night, there is different season. One day is rainy, one day is sunny. Everything is changed. You should accept change and go through it. And
Yes.
no, don't seek any actually don't seek any fixed situation. Nothing is fixed. Nothing.
You have to be fluid. You have to be fluid,
Yes,
very fluid, and move.
because
Go with change.
in this planet, nothing is fixed. Everything is changing.
You're right.
Yes,
Everything. Nothing. They would say nothing is static. Nothing is a fixed place. It's always subject to change. You're right. You're absolutely correct. The only thing on the planet that's permanent is when somebody dies. That's permanent. Other than that, there's nothing else permanent on the
yes,
planet. Cities change, neighborhoods change, cultures change,
exactly,
people change. You're right.
exactly,
Death is the only thing that doesn't change. So there
exactly.
you go. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your favorite way to, or favorite language to speak in when you're there in Turkey? Is it Turkish, or do you get a chance to speak a lot of Farsi? What do you normally speak? English?
Actually, in Turkey, I have to talk in Turkish because 95% of people cannot understand English.
I know.
Uh, yes, and it was my big challenge when I started my work here in school because students talk with me in Turkish. I should understand them in Turkish, then talk in English because
Mhm.
actually it was forbidden that I talk in Turkish with them. So,
But you got English teachers all over the world. They make English teachers just only speak in English to the students, period.
yes,
Yeah, that is, I remember that. I used to teach English at one of those institutes every now and then. I would volunteer to teach so I could get to know everybody in the city. I
yeah.
would go in and say, "Hi, I'd like to teach English while I'm here. Excuse me, working on a project." And they go, "Oh, can you speak English?" Of course, I'm speaking English to you. And then they give me a, a volunteer position where I go in and I teach people English, the preterite, the subjunctive, the past participles, and all of that. Did all of that. And then
Yeah.
it's hard for people to understand that, though. It really is. It's hard against their own language to understand that.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been teaching now?
Actually, I started from September 2023.
Okay, so not even a year left yet.
No, yes.
Do you like it?
Um, to be honest, it was really hard, harder than I expected. But
Mhm.
now I like it. Yes. Now
Okay.
I feel more confident in it. Now I learn how can I enjoy that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions from the audience. Okay.
Yes.
What changes would you like to see made as it relates to abuse care? What changes in the world would you like to see made as it relates to abuse care?
Um, you mean the worldwide change about abuse care?
Yeah. What changes would you like to see in the industry?
Um, actually, the most important things that now came to my mind is about uh, sexist abuse and actually racist. This is really um, this is really important. Most often recently about people around the world. If we can do something about this abuse care, it would be really good because uh, there are so many people around the world that they get killed because of their because who they are actually.
Abusive circumstances
Mhm.
that they're in. You know, abuse is everywhere. They call that pervasive. It's just everywhere.
Yes.
And I think this is a tough question because I can name 100 different things we need to change, but then I won't because they're being changed now. Culture and norm therapy and our companies are actually making a big change in the world about what we do. Yeah, I understand. I like that a lot. That's a tough question. Wow.
Yes,
Coming
because
from the audience, what mine?
it needs so much time that you would think we can actually provide a list about it.
Absolutely, exactly. Okay, so how do you think your work in graphic design is impacting victims and survivors of abuse? The way you work and the product that you create in graphic design, is that helping victims and abuse victims and survivors?
Actually, I think if I um, help arrow or norm therapy to get viral in social media, that more people around the world can watch them. So it's good for me. It's good news for me,
Yeah.
and I get satisfied.
Well, that's exactly it. I tell you, going viral is tough. It's really tough to go viral. I think we have some of the best online content in the world. If you look at any of our platforms, anything that we do because of you, our social media department, Kelly, you guys are constantly developing good stuff for the internet. It's truly amazing and I like it. So I want the world to see it. So if you're listening out there, take a look. Where do you get your inspiration from in your design work? Where do you get your inspiration? Your husband?
It's really a little hard to answer because there isn't any special source that I inspire. But to be honest, when I actually want to design, definitely I ask my husband's opinion, and most of the time he had so many good advices for me. And
Because he
he's not.
loves you. He wants you to be a success.
Yes, and the most important, the most actually interesting part is that he's not a designer, he's an artist, but he has a good attitude about that.
Because he has an eye for what he likes. He go, oh, I like that. Most people like you, designers and architects and all that, you're the hardest people to please sometimes because you're such a perfectionist.
Exactly.
Trust me, been there, done that. But that's hard though. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get to our last question, then I'm gonna read us out. Now, when it comes to victims of abuse, what makes you passionate?
Would you please explain it more to me?
Yeah, if when it comes to abuse, why are you so emotional and empathetic about abuse?
I can actually talk about the realistic story that we read in a norm therapy course. The main thing that actually had effect on me was about actually seeing unfair positions. For example, it was about elderly abuse. Actually, a woman who was around 60s, and when I read her story, still it is in my mind that why she faced in this situation. It is unfair. It really makes me so sad and affect on me. That's why sometimes there's this much unfair in unfairness.
Very unfair, extremely
Yes.
unfair. Listen, I can talk to you all day and night about this stuff, and I really enjoyed having you on the show. Finally, Mahrou. I mean, you're an amazing human being. You're so good and kind, and you give a lot of yourself, and we appreciate every moment. I have something burning in my eye, so I apologize. It's really like burning. But I look forward to having you on. What I like to do one day is when I have a panel group of people on, I like to invite you on and have you sit with the panel and we all talk, if that's okay with you in the future. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of that. We're going to talk about abuse care in those cases, and I'll bring up some cases for us to talk about and explain the narrative, if that's okay with you. Anyway, I'm going to read this and then we're going to end. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Again, of course, this is Michael Gibson. If you've enjoyed and got something out of today's session, please show your support by sharing this video, subscribing to our channel, and liking it, and more importantly, share it to other people. That would be very important. Please go to goarrow.org, GOARO.org, and also to normtherapy.com. Explore our opportunities and seek help for yourself or someone needing our services. That's our norm therapy service. If you're interested in applying to participate in our live sessions as a guest, survivor, or you can email us or at contact@normtherapy.com. Contact@normtherapy.com. Listen, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday, May 30th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be interviewing Kali Behan, training and developmental coordinator at Arrow. Oh, if this, I have something so dry in my eyes, couldn't. I apologize. Listen,
that's okay.
you start rubbing it, then it hurts more. So I just refuse to do that. But listen, I really enjoyed you today. I did. Thank you for being on. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we leave?
And I want to say thank you for having me. It was really nice to talk with you. I enjoyed that. And every time, actually, I see you, Kelly, and I join our meetings. It's really make me happy, and I'm really happy that I'm part of our family and Learn Therapy.
You're like the one of the matter of fact, you've been there longer than everybody in the company except for Kelly and I. So
Oh,
that's yay.
thank you.
Listen, good seeing you. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being my guest. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Everybody, thank you very much. Mahrou Pour.